Welcome back to the podcast, ladies. It's a Monday and it kind of feels like a Monday, but I am so excited to be back with you all. This is the Asterisk Podcast. I'm your host, April, and we have a special guest on the podcast. And I was just telling her, I was like, we're just going to chat. Like, I think so many things in life, they're scripted or you come with a plan. And I've just been in this place in my life where we're just going to show up, we're going to have conversation, and no one better to do that with than Dani. So, welcome to the podcast. Dani, she's the best. If you were at our Seattle Cherish conference, she was one of our guests on the panel. And Dani, I never really got to tell you this, but it was so good. Like, you specifically, you were so vulnerable. I loved it. Dani's up there. She's like shaking. She's like, I'm so nervous to do this. I'm like, this is why you're here now. She's like, you should see me right now. It's shaky, but it's so good. It's so good. And I love it too, because I'm like, when the Lord calls you to like step out and to share things that are challenging or things you've never shared before, you just know it's going to be good. And I think about my younger self, like the reason why I started everything I do with Cherish is I needed women like Dani to come to speak, to be real, and just share from their own brokenness, on things that they're walking through, so that I could be reminded of I'm not alone, that church isn't always perfect. My life with the Lord isn't always perfect, but that doesn't mean that I'm loved less or that I'm seen less. And it's the fact that He's working all those pieces together. So I am super excited. But before we just jump into all the things, give us a little life update, who you are. You have the cutest baby. Tell us about him, all the things.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm like so excited. I don't know if you know this about me, but I actually had a podcast like
Stop.
5 years ago called Raw Tea Podcast.
I love that.
It was so fun. So I'm like so happy to be here. And like, it's just like definitely not my element, but definitely something I
It's
feel
your
like I could like,
element.
yeah, I could, we could do this.
You be cool.
I am so just so grateful for just being here, being with you and
Yes.
being able to share my heart and just to whoever will listen because I'm a yapper box. So
Hey,
I'm
we
here
came to
for it.
yap. We came to yap. But it's so good.
Yeah, and so I am 28 years old. I can't believe it. 2 more years until I am the big 30, and I can't wait to be
They're
30.
so
I heard
good.
it's glorious.
It is.
Um, and I have an 8-month-old named Shiloh, and he is just my pride and joy. I just love that he's so mixed. So I'm gonna share what he's mixed with.
I
He
love it.
is, he's
I love
he's
it. Please.
Mexican, Ecuadorian, Black, and Filipino.
Okay.
Like
She's
just
like a
just
little
the
bit of everything. We love it.
perfect.
That's so
And
fun.
I just love him so much. And my husband's incredible. We have been together for well, on and off for 10 years. So
Okay. Right
that
there.
was,
I'm like, tell us
tell
about
me
your
more.
hubby. How did you guys meet?
Yeah, so we're both from South Florida
Come.
and we met at a church, big church in Florida. We were both serving at the time and we were just faithful, honestly. Like it was just like really we both entered each other's lives when we needed each other.
Yeah.
And he had just come back from college, moved back to our hometown, and I like was a really fresh, newer, like what's it called when you re-give your life to Christ?
Like rededicated.
Yeah,
I'm a
that one.
newbie again. Whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Cause truly, like I grew up Baptist and really didn't have like it didn't give wasn't given the choice. Like it was
Yeah.
just more of like you're gonna go to church, you're gonna believe in Jesus, and that's that. And so I never really had my own relationship until I rededicated my life. And so we met each other. It's such a perfect time. Although I would say perfect time, he wouldn't.
Slightly different.
Slightly different, yes, but we both we just were drawn to each other and we were just became the bestest of friends and have just like such a fun testimony even through the trials. Like we've been engaged before we got married this final time where I locked it in.
Wow.
And I just feel so blessed to not just do life with my best friend, but to do ministry with him
Yeah.
and to follow his lead literally anywhere in the world. I tell him, like,
Mm,
you roll the globe around and we'll go wherever
I
God
love
leads
it.
you and wherever you feel
So,
led to.
Tri-Cities,
So
Washington is what I'm hearing, yeah.
if
Like,
anyone's
put
from
it on top of
Timberlake,
the
close
prayer
your
list.
ears.
I cannot. Like, that's gonna be my top prayer point now every day. I'll just send subtle texts to you guys, like, "Did you hear this from the Lord today? It was so loud over here." Like, I don't know.
It's deafening.
So, as you guys can see, I'm trying hard, but when you find people that you just connect with, you wanna do life with them. So, I really mean
It's
that.
so
You guys
true.
are awesome. But
Thank you. I feel the same way about y'all.
so you guys got married over in Florida, and then you moved to Washington. Tell us about that transition, what led to that, all the things.
Yeah, so when they say God meets you at rock bottom, it is
Mm,
like 1000% the truth. We we were in like the worst states
mm,
mentally, spiritually. I was running so fast, as fast as I could from God's calling.
wow.
And Chris was not running, but there was just no opportunities being
Okay.
presented in Florida for us. And
Yeah.
so Chris had had this on his heart for about 8 years, Seattle,
Wow.
Washington. And Guy's just been like trying to penetrate through the stubbornness of both of us, truly.
Yeah.
Um, and what happened was Chris had a slip and fall at his job and he lost his job and really lost the ability to walk for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And I was like his caretaker and just like the provider for that season. And it was really difficult, not just on him and his like mental, but also on our marriage, on
Yeah.
myself. We do believe in traditional roles and values and
Yeah.
we love that. That's just who we are. So
Right.
we subscribe and to that and he just felt like so low about himself as a man.
Mm,
And I was just like, babe, like pray for God to show you something you haven't seen in a long
yeah.
time. Like I didn't even know what I was saying. I was
Yeah.
like just talking. And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not even listening to God right now, but
But this sounds
I
good. This sounds
I
good.
think you should do this. I'm like, pray
Amazing.
for like a vision. Pray, I don't know, like pray for
Mm,
something. Like
yeah.
something's gotta give. We're already at rock bottom. There's nowhere else to
Yeah.
go.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not? And he was like, you're right. So he applied to a church on churchjobs.com
Love it.
and not sponsored at all. And they literally called back literally the next day
Crazy.
and the ball just started rolling. Chris and I eloped when we first got married. So we were actually planning our actual wedding at the
Wow.
time of this whole process. And that seems to be a trend in our life of
Yeah.
when a door opens, a plenitude of doors start to open.
Mm,
And we have just become committed to saying yes, to just
wow.
doing it. Doing it afraid, doing it nervous, doing it anxious,
Yeah.
doing it depressed, doing it hurt, doing it however we are at the moment, just saying yes. And God will do the rest. He will take care of all of the rest. And
Yeah.
he has.
Yeah.
He's always been faithful to do that. So that's been our testimony from, us coming here of like we were just rock bottom and he got this job literally in an instant. It was like what man didn't see here. We've been faithful. We were born and raised in Florida. We've been at our church for years and we've been serving in the local churches for years. We've also been a part of a couple church plants.
Yeah.
We're really like we really know what we were doing. But it
Yeah.
just felt like we weren't being seen. We weren't being
Mm,
called. We weren't being valued.
wow.
And we were always just at that like volunteer level, always. Never seen as more, never called up as more.
Mm,
And it could just be because our hearts weren't really there. We
yeah.
probably wouldn't have been able to see it even if we were, even if we were called up. So, yeah, basically he said, all right, I'm in. Set me up for an interview. They had an interview the day before our wedding.
Wow.
Uh, and then a week after our wedding, he was being flown out to Washington. And
Wow.
then he accepted the job, and a month later he moved, and then I moved after. I was just getting
Yeah.
ready, everything prepared. I was just scared out of my mind. Like,
Mm.
I don't have any other, like, feeling but just
Yeah.
terrified. I did not leave my parents' house till I was 23, so I got married. And
Mm.
I have lived in Florida my whole life. Like, I don't know nothing else. I'm Florida
Wow.
born and raised. So I was like, "God, if this is what you're saying we need to do, I wanna do it, but I need you to give me the courage to just
Yeah.
do it, push through." So we went ahead and he's given me the courage since. Still gives me the
Mm.
courage, and we drove up here, and it kinda just feels like yesterday that that happened, and,
Yeah.
like, it but then again, it feels like a lifetime ago as well in the
Wow.
same breath. So but we were definitely called here, and as on our drive to Washington, God was just giving us revelation after revelation, and
Mm.
anything that could go right did go right, and
Yeah.
every road that was blocked seemed to open, and it was
Yeah.
just we arrived a day earlier than anticipated, and the church provided us a home to live at for the first 6 months of our
Wow.
lives in Washington. Everything every place where we felt unseen and unheard, God opened that door and was like, "I see you. I hear you.
Wow.
This is me. Like, just trust, just lean in." And slowly, instead of running, I just started slowly crawling back,
Mm.
and then kinda walking, and then
Yeah.
skipping, and then jogging, and then feeling that full, like, rush to the Lord.
Yeah.
Now, and it's been almost 3 years, it's like
Wow.
now I'm feeling that, like,
Right.
fire, that I want more, God, what else is there? Like, I know
Yeah.
there's more here in Washington for our cities, I don't know,
Yeah, I mean,
but
maybe a
hey,
different part of Washington. Yeah, absolutely.
hey, who knows?
I love it.
But I think we're definitely just in a place where we're ready and we're
Yeah.
excited, and ministry here is like nothing I've ever
Mm.
experienced in
Wow.
my life. It is the most challenging it's the most challenging thing I've ever experienced, and
Yeah.
not even because of the people, but because of the spiritual
Yep.
demonic
Yeah.
presence and the darkness that looms over it feels.
Yeah.
And it's for generations. It's
Yeah.
even like from the soil, you know,
Yeah.
like there are things that I feel and I see and I hear and I like experience here. And I'm like, whoa, like this
No, I
is
agree.
from the devil,
Yeah.
like not
It
from
was,
you
like,
guys.
such a hard transition when I first came from the South to the Pacific Northwest, and it was funny because I was young. I mean, I had just graduated college and both, like, I was in Texas, then school in Oklahoma, very charismatic, Pentecostal, backgrounds, and then walking to an unchurched part of the world, and not the most positive things are spoken about the Seattle area, and
Mhm.
I was just naive, like, and I've always been naive, like, I've never been one to, like, research, or I'm just like, "Let's go, wherever the Lord goes, I'll go," and it was really difficult to explain my faith, and I realized at that point in my life, I didn't have, like, the why behind the what, like, it was just again, I don't question, I just do. And it really taught me to have the why behind the what and to break it down in ways because again, for so many people that have been living in that darkness that, we feel and they don't recognize anything different because that's all they've ever seen or know. How do you begin to explain? And even just the smallest things, I'd have you students like when Andrew and I started dating, they're like, well, why aren't you all living together? Like, isn't that an important piece? Like y'all need to get to know each other that way. Or like, why does the Bible say this or why that? And it was these hard, difficult questions, but I was like, man, no one's ever asked me these things before. And I'm like, they should be. These are good questions. And so I think it is really cool when you have that background of coming from the South to coming to the Pacific Northwest because I felt like it didn't it changed me and it shaped me, but not in the way that maybe some would think like, "Oh, you're just gonna completely change or walk away," and it made me stronger because my foundation was already there and helped me to realize to, like, see people in their brokenness and where they come from, but totally resonate with that of, like, just the climate difference spiritually Like, when you come off the plane or when you get out of your car, you're like, "What's going on? This is crazy," you know? So, what was that rock bottom for you specifically, and when you were in Florida, kinda you're hinting at, like, running away from it, running away from the call, like, what was going on in Danny's life at that time?
Wow. Well, my grandpa had passed away.
Okay.
So he was really sick. He was really sick, and we knew he was going to pass. And so it was, of course, you anticipate, you prepare, and still, it doesn't lessen the blow any less. You just know what's coming, you feel
Yeah.
it. But I was actually a children's pastor at the time,
Mm,
and we had just gotten married, and I had said yes. I was like, okay, finally getting called, getting like, I'm ready for this. Like, let's go. I'm like, and it was only 2 hours away from my hometown, so still
yeah.
Florida, but it was still a move. It was a big transition. Me and Chris had just gotten married, and like I said, we eloped, but we eloped so we like essentially we could live together and
Absolutely,
be
yeah.
doing ministry well, and so that we're not like living in sin.
Right.
And I do not recommend that at all.
Why not? Tell us more. Tell us more about that. I'm very curious. I'm like, "I didn't know about this elope. I need to hear about this too." Tell me,
But
tell me.
because it was so rushed, it was so
Yeah,
rushed, like, all of the sweetness and
yeah.
that season of engagement is so precious and so important for your growth and for you to
Mm,
prepare for marriage, not a wedding, not being somebody's wife, a marriage, like a
wow.
union under God. And we did not take that time. And so, as you can imagine, it was chaos. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't really know each other. We had never lived together. We had never experienced certain things together until we got married. And so, there were things that I found out when we were married that I was like in my head questioning, like, would I have married him if I knew this?
Yeah.
And, but now I'm here. Like, there's no go back.
We're just moving forward. Yeah.
Divorce has never been an option for me, and it
Yeah.
won't. So we just gotta truck along. But it put a strain on our marriage. Of course,
Yeah.
not, like not feeling like you knew the person you married. It's such a scary thing, and it's not even like he was this crazy like guy or anything, or like I was
Yeah.
hiding any big secrets. It's just things that are important to talk about in that season of engagement, that vulnerability that you create because it's not naturally
Yeah.
there, and expectations that we had for each other that we
Yeah.
had never talked about or explained or even like had the emotional not like intact knowledge really to like know to talk about these
Mm,
things because we were like we were broken up for 2 years after
'kay.
our first engagement and we
Wait, so
dated
you
other
guys were
people.
engaged before and got
Yeah, so
engaged
we
again? Danny, how did I
yeah.
miss this? Wow, tea,
Yeah,
girls. Tea on the podcast.
my life is the lore movie.
This
It's just all a bunch of lore. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I feel like I'm God's favorite. Sometimes I'm like, do you hate me? Like, what's up?
Okay, wait. So you guys have been together for 10 years. This is how slow my brain is processing. This is great. I love this.
No, I
You
love
guys
this.
are married 10 years, or not married 10 years, been together 10 years. You'll be married much longer than 10 years. That's what we're speaking.
Yep.
But okay, how did you guys met at the church, you're serving together. When did you guys get engaged the first time?
We got engaged the first time in, let me backtrack, 26,
2016.
yeah,
Okay, so how
hmm
old would you have been?
19.
Okay, so are you guys the same age?
No, he's 2 years older than me.
Okay, so you guys are younger at that point. You guys get engaged. What called off the engagement?
I'm totally lying. I'm so sorry. It was 2018. It was
Oh, okay. I
2018.
was like, what do you
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
you're totally lying that you didn't get engaged? Like, what is happening? I love this podcast. It's my favorite one already. This is so good. What does she mean? Okay, so I'm lying about all of it. Like, awesome. So great. I love it. Just for a little plot twist. That's how we're going to start the episode right there. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Okay, so a few years older,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So why'd you guys call off the first engagement?
because we were living in sin.
I am so obsessed. This is not real life. This is so good. Hey, well, that's real. We're snorting. Things are getting just that real. Okay. So you're living in sin. So is that like is so you're feeling personally convicted by it? You both
Both of
are.
us.
Did you guys have mentors in the picture that like anyone knew about this?
Yes.
Yes.
So Chris and we both had mentors, but Chris had been feeling this conviction a little bit more heavier than I was. I was
Okay.
still 100% like convicted by it and not feeling great and just like leading and not like and like telling my students and or like my young adults that like don't do this, but I'm like over here doing that, you know?
Doing it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so I definitely
Because you
felt
guys
that like
are
guilt.
you're an elementary pastor at this point or a kids pastor or just leading in the
At this
church?
point, I'm just leading in the church. I'm
Okay.
just a volunteer at the same big church that we
Okay.
met at. And so was he. So he
Okay.
was leading in the student ministry. So same, just volunteer, but still
Okay.
like we have to
Absolutely.
sign like covenant at our
Yeah, yeah,
church
yeah.
and abide by that. So we were both very convicted. Him being the leader, the man, he's like, I'm just leading her wrong. Like I'm not doing it. Like I don't know what to do. And, like a little snippet of his testimony that he never had like that father figure or
Mm,
that leader to like look to.
yeah,
So, he just didn't know. He's like, like
right?
I don't know what this looks like, like
Yeah.
help me. And so this leader is incredible, pastor. And basically he was the pastor was currently living what he was advising Chris, which was break up.
Wow.
He had broken up his engagement because they were
Wow.
also living in sin. And
Wow.
he was in his season of singleness in that at that exact time that Chris
Wow.
was asking for that guidance. So
Wow.
it was like the perfect match. And
Okay.
he just advised, like, he's like, break up, just break up. Like, if you guys can break up well, then you'll get back together. Like,
Wow.
well, like if that's what God wants for you,
Yeah.
if you guys are led back to each other, it's gonna happen because like you're gonna honor each other on the exit. You're gonna finish well.
Yeah.
And so, I remember we were in this plaza in front of our one of my favorite restaurants called Bolay,
Okay.
and not my favorite anymore. I'm just
You're
kidding.
like, hey, you wouldn't blame me. You're like, I've never been back since.
I really haven't.
Like, you ruined my favorite restaurant, but
Like,
it's fine.
my appetite,
You're like, I'm not
but
hungry anymore.
I'm not
Wow.
hungry anymore.
Dang.
Yeah, so we were in this parking lot, and then he was like, we were engaged. So he was like, what, like, this is what was told to me. Like, how do you feel about it? He said, like, gave me the whole conversation. And I was like, honestly, I think he's right. I hate that he's
Wow.
right. Of course, I'm in tears. I'm like, he's right. Like, I think that's the only way for us to really feel like we are going to honor God. Like, it's going to
Wow.
take a sacrifice for us
Wow.
to do this well. So he was like, "Okay, let's start slow. Let's just like call off the engagement and like let's still like try to be together, like just boyfriend and
Okay.
girlfriend again." Yeah, okay. Like that did not work. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like
Like,
I was gonna be your wife. Like, how am I supposed to
yeah.
like you're like like depromoting me? What's it called? Like unpromoting me?
Yeah. Oh, I can't
Like
even.
I almost said a different word.
You're like, just gonna roll. We don't know what's gonna come out the rest of this podcast. Let's be honest. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
guys break off the engagement,
break
go to
off
be boyfriend and girlfriend,
boyfriend and
and you're like,
girlfriend didn't work.
no.
And
Okay.
so I was the one that initially was like, okay, I think we should just break up. This feels like
Well,
it's a waste of time because I'm not trying to go backwards. And this feels like we're going backwards instead of forward. It doesn't feel like we're doing this the way that we should be doing this. This
mm,
doesn't feel right. And Chris had actually applied to go to Church of the Highlands College,
okay.
and he had gotten accepted. And so
Well,
he was actually on his way out anyways to
mm,
Alabama. And I was like, I'm not going to do long distance either. Like, that's crazy. I totally regretted that as soon as I said it, but
mm,
I I truly did mean it, and I needed to mean it because I needed
yeah.
to follow through with it. I needed the healing that was coming after. I also got accepted into an internship at a church in Miami called Blue Church, and it was just an incredible experience. We
Wait, you
both
were out there with the Wilkersons?
I love
Okay.
them, shout out. If you haven't seen this, I
Dang.
love them so
I'm
much. They're such great
literally
pastors.
starting a Christian book club with her new book, Slow Burn. So I'm so
Yes!
excited. So if you were in the Tri-Cities, you could be going through the book with us. Just saying. Wow. No, this is
They're
so
incredible
good.
pastors, are who they are on the screen, on the platform,
Wow.
as they are behind the scenes. That's what I'll say about. But
So cool.
incredible, incredible experience for both of us. For both of us, these doors opening, we're like, whoa, like this is what
The
God
Lord's
was
doing something.
doing. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's why we had to completely separate. Like this is what He wanted to do for us. So we've both gone our journeys, and we're broken up for 2 years, fully
Wow.
broken up 2 years.
Are you guys talking, staying in touch with one another?
I was like down bad, down bad.
I'm obsessed with you. It's so good. I was down bad. Okay,
I
so
was like texting him every night, like these long paragraphs, like,
mm,
please, please don't do this. But I did it. Like, huh?
yeah,
Like, like,
that's how it goes.
come back.
You were
Like,
supposed to fight
no.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like, probably
Like
can screenshot one
you
and
weren't
like show
supposed
you.
to actually let me go.
No,
Like this is
really.
girl's mind's going right now. Yeah.
It was yes, yes, exactly that, and but I was just so toxic, like, we were both just toxic
Mm,
people for each other, like, I had no
yeah.
business doing that, I had kingdom work I had to take care of, but I was over
Well,
here, like, after clocking out of a full, like, 8-day church day, going and texting my ex, like,
mm,
like, forgetting about the message I just heard? So,
yeah.
it was just, like, a really, like, vicious cycle for the first, I would say, like, 5 months, like, I really
So
couldn't really.
this is really good because what you're hitting on, I think like a lot of girls probably find themselves in. So I'm like, Danny, just speak to the girls.
Yes.
Like you know it's the Lord. Like, and it could be in a relationship, it could be in a job, whatever it is. You've made this decision. You were bold in the beginning with that first step, and then let's be honest, you're lonely. Like you're like, what did I just do? Like, what things like helped you in that season to really put your trust in the Lord and say, "No, God, like, you called me to this. I need to lay it down, and I need to not pick it back up." Like, how did you do that? How would you encourage girls that are in that same spot right now?
You
Mm,
need your girls. You
that's good.
need your people. I had a tribe behind me that was
Mm,
like louder than my doubt, louder than my insecurities, louder than the devil. They were so
wow.
loud. They were like, girl, stop it. Stop
Yeah,
looking back. Like your
yeah.
future is before you. It's never behind you. Stop
Mm,
it. Like stop.
so
And it
good.
was so hard to
Yeah,
stop because I love this man. This man was supposed to be my future, which he was,
yeah.
but he
You're like,
like,
"Plot twist."
yeah, but like I was just so devastated, and I was desperate. I was in a place of desperation, and God never calls us in that. That was never God. I was never
Mm,
supposed to be in that place. We are supposed
wow,
to live in abundance.
wow,
And I was not living in abundance because I was so stuck on him. So my people, my tribe, I was a part of a church plant, and that was why I was at Boo Church, was because I was going to bring everything from my internship back to my church plant and like
wow.
incorporate that in there in the children's ministry. And so it's like they were just reminding me of that. They're like, honestly, you don't really have time for this. Like you don't have time for
Mm,
this. I will say though, there is a toxicity in the southern churches when it
mm,
comes to overworking and not actually like checking in. So they were
wow.
just like, you got work to do. You don't got time for your feelings, like that kind of thing.
Mm,
But like,
yeah,
honestly, it helped. It really did help me in that
yeah,
season. I just had to face my feelings a little bit later than I
yeah,
like, what if I had just taken care of it then?
yeah.
But that's another part of it. Yeah, so I would say you need your tribe and listen. Like
Mm,
you need to die to yourself and just listen. Like these people love you. They want what's best for you. You don't know what's best for you all the
mm,
time. And that's why God is so big about community and so
that's
big
so good.
about the bride and us being all in unison and
Yeah,
us like working in our specific parts like as a body of Christ, like what my specific part would have been. Like let's say I'm the heart, like I need to focus on the heart, stop trying to be the arms and the legs. Like
mm,
I needed that. I needed those
Yeah,
reminders. And like,
absolutely.
and one thing about Blue Church is you work. You will work. So we were working and we were also being discipled. We were being
Well,
discipled like I had never been before. There was this one time where Pastor Don Sheree was preaching and she was speaking about her journey of infertility. And if
mm,
you know now, you know she has four beautiful children.
mm,
And she was just speaking faith and speaking victory and speaking
wow,
truth and speaking love over all of us. I might get choked up, but and
mm,
I was like, yes, 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 I receive it for
yeah,
me. Give it to me. I want that.
yeah,
I want
yeah,
that freedom because she was living in freedom without even having her blessing. And
wow,
I needed that reminder that you can live in your freedom, you can live in your truth, you can even be in your brokenness, but still be living in freedom through
so good.
Christ without having your blessing yet, without having
Yeah,
your reward, you know? And that's where my slogan of my rewards in heaven. If I never see it here, it's in heaven. So it is what it is.
mm,
But like
that's
that's where it comes
good.
from, is that
Yeah,
like I may never see a single reward, and that is okay. That's okay because they're all in heaven. And I'm good with that.
wow, yeah,
But that was like really what got me through was my community and my church and my pastors and leaning into it and not being afraid. And if you don't go to church and if you don't have pastors or mentors, there are so many spiritual mentors, so many spiritual brothers and sisters online on social media that I also subscribed to. I was like,
yeah,
I'm like Milena Chiacata on YouTube, my girl, my girl. I don't even know her, but I love her.
but I
Like
know
she
her. Yeah,
I know her and she knows me, I think, in the spirit. We're into. And she was
so good.
married at the time, but would talk about her story, like her testimony and her marriage and all the trials that they had
Mm,
faced and all these things. And was like, she didn't want that for him. She didn't want that for other girls. And
yeah,
that spoke to me. And so like your ministry, Cherish Ministry, like
yeah,
that is a great opportunity for girls, any girls going through this to know like you have leaders, you have people
yeah,
that not only walks this walk, but also are living testimony of what it looks like on the
so
other
good.
side.
So true. I love it. Man, I'm learning so much about your story. I'm like, okay, Pastor Danny, let's go. This is good.
Aw.
No, I love it. Okay, so picking up where we left off, you and your man are not together. He's doing his thing, the Highlands. You're in Miami, Florida. So then what happens? What brings y'all back together after 2 years? Is it like right after 2 years you guys kind of start having these conversations again? Okay, tell us.
No, it's like a little under 2 years that
Okay.
we like not reconnected, I wouldn't even say, because after those initial 5 months of going back and forth, the toxicity of that vicious cycle of texting him and wanting a text back and you know, all those
Yeah.
things, I finally released it. I had released
Well,
it and I was like, I don't like honestly, if you want me, I'll probably be here. Like I probably will. I'll be honest, but I'm not gonna chase you anymore. Like I'm done doing
good.
that. Like I'm just gonna I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna vibe. I'm gonna chill.
Yeah.
I'm a beautiful woman. Like
I
I
love it.
love the Lord. Like we're good. Like we're chilling. Like I need to stop like doing this. I look a little thirsty. I don't like that. So I did not like that. So
This is not a good look for you, Danny. You
no,
gotta change
I'm
it
like
up. Yeah.
a
I know
good
who
woman.
I
I'm a
am.
catch. Like what? So yeah, it was weird. It was definitely not a good look. So we both, it was the craziest thing. I got invited to like a recruit slash vision night for a
Okay.
church plant that was taking place in Delray Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And it was a friend of mine, really longtime friend. And we honestly were just going for the vibes. We were like, there's gonna be some cool people, some food, some worship, here's some vision. Maybe we'll bring it back to our church, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
whatever. And long and behold, I walk in. Guess who's there too? Him. Like, I mean, and if you know my husband, he's tall. You can't miss him. I tried,
No.
but you can't. So I'm like trying to play dumb, you know, I'm like talking to everyone, trying not to make eye contact. This was so we hadn't really talked at this point. We hadn't talked for like a couple of months. Like
Well,
we were like on no contact. So
yeah.
it was really, really awkward and uncomfortable because he was actually a part of the launch team. So
Stop. You're like, "I'm not stalking you, I promise."
I looked horrible. And I had friends there that, of course, knew our story and knew our, background. And they're like, "Are you okay?" Like,
Checking in on you.
and I'm like, "I'm good." I'm baffled. Like, I thought he
Wow.
was in Alabama. Go back. What are you doing here?
Why are
I
you
was
here? Yeah.
like, this is my town now. Like, well, stop. So he was back in town because he was asked to be a part of this church plant. So he, finished up in Alabama, whatever, and then came back. And I had no idea. We briefly, just said hello, cordial, being respectful, and I was like, "I'm never going there again." Good
Wow.
thing I know. And then two of my really good friends also joined the launch team, and they're both worship lead pastors, and they're just like incredible. They're like my mentors at the time, or still are, honestly. But they were like, "Danny, you have so much calling. You need to be a part of it. Like, we'll walk with you. We'll hold your hand. We'll be your boyfriend. Like, don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, we got you. Like we're gonna protect you. Like, he's not gonna bother you. No one's gonna bother you. Like, but you need to be a part of this. God told us you were gonna be a part of this with us."
Wow.
And I was like, "Well, God's lying. So bye."
God's not telling the truth. Which God you listening to?
I was like, "He's not telling me." Meanwhile, my ears are mine like this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So of course I'm not gonna hear him. But then I was like, wow, okay. Well, I'm gonna pray on that. Well, let's see. If God's telling
Yeah.
you, He'll tell me. So I started praying on it, and loud as day, I heard
Mm.
go.
Wow.
And it was like not even a nice go. It was like, "You're annoying me. Just go." Like that kind of go.
How clear do I have to make it? I'm like, wow. Okay.
I was like, "I'll go."
Jeez.
So I texted him and I was like, "Okay, I'm on your team. I'm here. Like,
Mm.
let's do this. Let's build this church." And so, like, we kind of had to do not like an intervention, but like we had to talk. We all had to like
Yeah,
talk because we
absolutely.
were all gonna be on this team and like being part of ministry and building a church plant. So it's so intimate. There's so many things that there's so many factors, like you wear so many
Right.
hats, and so you're bound to work with each other. So, we had to really have like conversations. So basically our before we even broke up, our only rule was we will not talk poorly about each other. That was our
Mm.
only rule. It's like
Yeah.
we are best friends first, and so we need
Yeah.
to honor each other. We need to love each other even
Wow.
through this breakup. So we honored that. We truly did. Even all throughout that breakup, the 2 years, and then even coming to this church plant.
Wow.
So even my mentors, like they've never heard me speak poorly about him ever,
Mm.
and I never would. And so we mentioned that we're like, "Look, we know how to play nice. Like we're good. Like we're
Yeah.
not gonna come at each other's throat. Like, but the question did pose of like, well, what if one of you meet someone else, and what if like, like that's the person for you? Like, will you
Right.
guys be able to survive that? Like, are you gonna be able to pull through and like follow this mission or your call?" And the answer had to be yes, whether I wanted it to be or not, because that's where God had me. So if I'm supposed to
Right.
be there, I needed to be faithful, regardless of what came. Thankfully, that wasn't one of the things.
Yeah, that would be hard.
We that was it was, yeah. But
Yeah.
of course, we had to see each other, interact with the
Right.
other party, and
Yeah.
maybe have some flirting going on or
Yeah.
whatever the case, even on the team, like little Akko taco. But we just were always respectful of like not trying to ever do that in front of each other, not talk about it in front of our friends,
Right.
because of course we're all best friends, like we're all interconnected. And
Yeah.
at that point, I had also taken on the role as the young adults pastor's assistant.
Okay.
So he became my best friend, Jake, and but he was also Chris's best friend.
Mm.
So Jake was like a hammer. He did not play. Like he would like if I even like talked when I was like or talked about Christmas, like even like inching that I missed him or like
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Stop. That's not what we're here for. Stop." Like
Wow.
even though like sure he couldn't
Yeah,
listen. He
yeah.
could have I
He was
love you,
like,
Jake, but
"No. No."
he was like a hammer. Like that's like we're not doing that right now. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay. So that correction, that discipline really helped me just stay the course and stay faithful
Mm,
and stay steadfast and not get distracted. And our young adult actually launched before the church launched, and we had 70 young adults come
wow.
to a coffee shop. And that's how we started off our launch was with 70
Wow.
young adults like joining it. It was just so miraculous, so beautiful. It was like incredible. Like I like there are no feelings to describe like what God was doing. And that was my clear indication that I was where I was supposed to be and where Chris
Yeah.
was supposed to be too, because he was being called up in ways he'd never been called up before. And so
Mm,
long story short, we were a part of a church, and it wasn't until about a year into the church plant
wow.
that so now we're going on our 2 years, a
Okay.
little over 2 years, that there was a boy
Mm.
that was
This
interested
uh-oh.
and was very interested, like, "I want you to be my wife." Like, that was,
Wow.
like it was very, very, like, clear as day, and he pursued me, and he would come to church, and it was really, as I was like, "I have to let myself feel love again, like, I have to
Yeah.
do it one eventually," and so I finally opened up my heart and was, like, willing to, entertain this, and Chris was like, "Uh-uh, uh-uh,"
He's like, "Wait a
immediately,
minute. Wait a minute."
immediately, and basically he texted me one day randomly, like outside
Mm,
of all of our group chats and all of our ministry. I was up. He was like, "Hey, do you want to like hang out one day?"
wow. You're like,
And I was like, "Yeah,"
do
but
I?
not that fast.
Yeah.
I took like a business day or two to like reply. Got to keep him on his toes. But I knew I was
Absolutely.
going to say yes, and so I said yes. And then he took me to a dinner. It was beautiful. It was a really nice dinner. I was like, "Is this a date? Like, what is
You're
this?
like,
This
"Wait,
doesn't
hang
feel like
out,
a hangout."
date." Yeah.
Yeah. And but what he didn't know is by this time I had already cut things off with this guy because
Mm,
I basically told him I'm still in love with my ex fiance, and that's so unfair to you. Like you do
yeah.
not deserve that. You deserve someone that is fully committed to you and
Yeah.
sees you as their one and only,
Good for
and
you.
not
Yeah.
like it's not it's wrong. It's wrong of me to continue this
Yeah.
just so you could feel my loneliness. Like that's not right. So
Yeah.
he, took it well, took it okay. But, called me a walking red flag, but it's fine. Um, we'll never forget.
Who's remembering that?
Right.
Oh, man.
And so yeah, that happened and then like I had already done that. That was already established. So that's why I said yes to the hangout because I wouldn't have felt right doing that if
Right.
that was still happening. And then he was like, like I just feel like God's been putting on my heart, and I feel like I
Wow.
need to pursue you again, and I need to court you again, and I need
Mm.
to win your heart over. And I was like, yeah, because it's not going to be easy. Okay, like it's a lot
'Cause
of
it's gonna
things
be
you
a
need to do.
chase. Yeah.
Yeah. And it really
Yeah.
was. I did make him like literally date me again, like
Yeah.
literally like do all the things, pick me up, all the stuff, like as
Yeah.
if it was our first time. And
Wow.
that went fast though. Like once we did start like actually going on dates, like it's just inseparable. And
Yeah.
then a little bit under a year is when we got engaged again.
Hmm.
And then we got married. I said, "You're not going nowhere this time."
So
So we got married a week
what was that
after.
all like for you, Danny? I mean, that's probably, like, really, like, you just went through a lot, like, a big break, you're discovering yourself, he's discovering himself, you guys are dating again, and then you're engaged, like, what's going through your head? Like, is it, "Wow, God, this is amazing?" Is there fear? Like, what's processing through you?
Really afraid of ever like feeling hurt again like that.
Yeah.
And not that he ever hurt me intentionally. It's just the pain of
Yeah.
breakup in general. Um, and I was afraid of being vulnerable. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of those conversations, like I said earlier, that we didn't have, were because of fear of
Mm.
on both ends of like
Right.
losing each other again or just
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
like I felt a
Mm.
lot of both. And I was sure then, but I was even more sure now that this was the man I was meant to marry.
Well,
I actually, when I first ever laid my eyes on him, I told somebody that's gonna be my husband one day.
Mm.
And that person also told them that he was gonna be their husband.
Wow.
So we definitely have a history, and like we have God has always been in our
Yeah.
story. He's always been the mastermind behind it all. And I think it just really needed to feel like that confidence and that
Yeah.
in myself as a woman outside
Yeah.
of my husband, outside of my man, and then
Yeah.
also like experience something so painful that it literally stripped me from everything. It
Yeah.
ripped me apart from everything so I could start fresh and be new
So good.
and not have that shame or that guilt,
Yeah.
like carry that into this marriage or this relationship. So I just felt empowered during that
Mm.
season. Like I was like, and nobody stopped me. That my hot husband, like future
Yeah.
husband, chasing me. Like, I'm about to be a pastor. Like,
Yeah.
we're on a high. We were
Yeah.
good. It was great. And so, of course, when you're up,
Yeah.
for some reason,
You just
there's
gotta
there's a
some
down. Like,
gravity.
oh,
Some
what?
gravity comes and gets
Where did
you.
that come from?
Wow.
And so that was like our peak. And then we moved and we start this life as pastor. And then my grandpa passes away. And then these suicidal thoughts start to creep in my head that I hadn't thought or had in over a decade at that point. And I was like, God, what is it? Like a demonic attack 100%, but not on just myself now, but on my marriage and on my
Wow.
husband and on our finances and in our mind. And it was just spiritual warfare. And
Wow.
I wouldn't say like my grandpa passing was even the worst of it. I would say that's what saved me.
Mm.
Because we just started from fresh. Like we were married, we had our own home, we had our own life career going on, and then we had to move back in with my parents
Wow.
and we had to get new jobs and we were unemployed for a little while
Yeah.
and that was really rock bottom for us because we felt so
Mm.
low as people. He felt so
Yeah.
low as a man, and it was struggling hard with mental health issues that I hadn't experienced in a
Wow.
long time that I thought I was freed from.
Right.
But something happened in that time that I probably can't even pinpoint right now, even of like that triggered that turned
Yeah.
something that changed me forever. And, unfortunately, I have PMDD, so it's called premenstrual dysphoric disorder,
Yes.
and it's not fun, girl. It is
No.
not fun, and it is a battle of the mind.
Wow.
But pregnancy healed me in the name of
Wow.
Jesus. I have not experienced this since,
Wow. That's
and God is
amazing.
so faithful, so good. So and I also was diagnosed with postpartum anxiety, also liberated from that in the name of Jesus.
Wow.
So I never stop praising his name, even in the
Mm.
darkness, even in my suicidal thoughts, like,
Right.
God, I'm yours. I am yours, and I will always be yours, even with these diagnoses. I don't care.
Wow.
Like I will faithfully serve you. And that is the testimony that you can do it. You can still be a pastor. You can still be a leader, even if you're battling mental health problems. Like just lean into your community,
Yeah.
lean into your mentors, lean into the word of God, open up the living word of God. It will speak to you.
Mm.
And I won't stop saying that now. Like I won't stop praising his name and I will never I praise him for the breakthrough and my breakthrough's here. I'm living in it.
Wow.
I am like literally living in my answered prayers. Like every day I know it sounds like cliche, but like literally I am like living in my answered
Mm.
prayers. Like I am a
Wow.
mama. That is all
Wow.
I ever wanted in life. Like I am a mother. I am a wife. My parents just moved from Florida to Washington. Like
Oh, did they really?
yeah, like, literally, like, a couple days ago,
You're like, actually, like, yesterday. Wow.
and I just am so blessed. I'm just like that this is the outpouring of
Yeah.
God's faithfulness, of obedience, of saying
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I think that's so good, and I think I just love how real you are because I think, we know this about, like, social media with Instagram of just that highlight reel or that platform that we get, but it's just highlighting the good moments, and you don't get to see the struggle, and so a lot of people are like, "Man, I want to be where Danny's at, I want to be where Chris is at. I want that marriage. I want to be a mom like that. And everything comes at a price. Everything comes with a sacrifice, It's like the idea that salvation is free, but it will cost you your life. Like there will be some things that you have to lay down, some people you have to walk away from, some sacrifices that are made. There's seasons of loneliness, like fill in the blank. Even just hearing like we had to move in with our parents, we were unemployed, mental health and just what you're walking through. I think that liberates people because I think sometimes we feel as if, well, if those things are happening, that means I'm failing, I'm doing it wrong. And it's really the test of, okay, right now people are watching more than ever. Probably more people are watching because they're like, ooh, let me like see the tea or let me, like see them fail or we knew this, but that's what the Lord wants. Like he draws in on those moments, says, get close, watch it. And then he does something so powerful there. And I think if anything, that's even like with my husband and I, what we've learned in like the hard moments of people are watching even more now. So God, let you get the glory. Help us to stay humble. Help us to have hearts of gratitude. Help us to be thankful right where we're at, not wishing for what's to come, but like right here, right now where it's hard, let, just like you said, like praise you, and give him the glory, give him the honor. And I mean, even my sister, she was just talking to me about this same idea. She walked through infertility through years and years, and now she's holding her blessing baby, and she works, predominantly in a place where people, don't really believe in the Lord, and yet they'll pull her aside and they'll just thank her and bawl in front of her, like, "You're in our dreams," or just, "Your faithfulness, like, it just showed me something," and so, you just never know who's watching, and sometimes we don't wanna put those hard moments out there, but it's like, it draws people in. Maybe not all the people are like, "Oh, it's gonna be good, God's with you," but it draws in the people that are like, "I didn't see that coming," or, "I don't know how that happened," and it's like, "I do. I know, like, if he is faithful back then, he'll be faithful again," So, I think that's so good that you share that, and it's so fun to watch you and just get to hear y'all's story. Like, I had no idea, but I just love that. So, how long have you guys been married now?
4 years.
4 years, okay.
Yes.
So you're about like Andrew and I about the same time. So you guys got married in 2021? Yeah. I'm like, I can do math, right? Yeah. We're at
It's
2025
okay. I was like
if I
hoping
can't
you
get
were
that.
gonna say it. I
Because
don't
you're
know
like, "I
either.
don't know off the top of my head." That's amazing. No, I just
Yeah,
think your story and I know we're not even getting into everything, so that just means we're gonna have to do another episode, Danny, which I
part
think is
2.
totally fine. So much more to talk about. But I just think that's so good for girls just to hear just that theme throughout of like, okay, I'm going to trust the Lord. I'm going to surrender it all. There's this picture I always go back to with girls of like a little girl holding a teddy bear and God's reaching out to grab that little teddy bear. And she's like, no, I don't want to give it up. I love it. But behind his
Mhm.
back is an even bigger teddy bear. And so there's been so many moments even in my own life where I'm just literally like at the altar with the Lord, just bawling, saying, God, I want to trust you. I want to give this to you. Help me to like lay it down and not pick it back up. And I can see now looking back, like everything he did in and through me, like similar to you and being in those times of singleness, like finding my own voice and becoming who I am. And then the guy coming back around or in the picture. And it's like, man, I learned how to be in an interdependent relationship, where Andrew and I, like, we complement one another, but we don't complete one another, we just bring each other closer to the Lord, and the only way to do that is if we knew the Lord's voice ourselves, where we weren't dependent or codependent on each other, so just so much goodness in y'all's story and in your strength just to lay that down. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being real. Like I said, we're just gonna have to do this again because there's so much more to your story, and we definitely need to tap into that. So, Danny, thank you so much for being on the podcast, being on this episode with us. Girls, please, please, please share this episode with girls in your world who needs to hear this, and make sure you're following us along on all the socials. And we will be back in a couple of weeks for another episode. Have a great day.